Hello, my name is Sergey and I would like to show a demonstration of tracking tools inside MotionBuilder. This is my plugin to solve quite strange situations, quite bad situations with optical data. For example, this data comes to me from Arena, from OptiTrack software, and it's quite bad data. I can just drag the slider and you can see that it started swapping, penetrating, so on and so forth. So it's not possible to solve this situation in classic MotionBuilder optical system. It's really not possible because there is no tools to deal with this data, like this, with the problems. That's why I have built a special solution for working with this. So all my structure from the first time is converted to spatial objects, to spatial point cloud, optical point cloud object that I can select this one. So there are several properties that I can import this data, export back to classic optical. I can labeling with the points, and I have spatial objects like these markers. So I can label, I can crop, and so on and so forth. But it's not classical point cloud, it's my own type. And for each body part, I have spatial tracking structure. It's a rigid body structure. With the graph, it contains all the points inside and trying to track with these points. So that I can in properties switch to rigid body properties, and there are quite a lot of connections between other rigid bodies. There is quite a lot of constraints available to control the tracking solution, and there is also different approaches to deal with the data. It can be simple ICP ransack. It's not very simple, but it's actually a very useful algorithm. And there is also graph, and it can be after mode with switching between one or two or both, which will be more accurate result. And I will show on some small, let it be 200 frames. And I will show frame by frame. Just put in some parameters, just ready to fit the structure. The white color means that it fits well, it have good quality. And then I'm from cursor position, I'm solve this data. I'm solve this rigid body, and I have this rigid body moving, and this rigid body is like a classical object with its own transformation, and I can control this transformation and make gaps and solve between gaps and solve in different directions. Just it's a solution for me to make tracking and to make this data clean and to recognize which point is which marker. So finally, I have another video demonstration what is the final result from kind of these bad situations, and finally everything comes in good condition, and the data and the motion capture data is ready to use in animation. There is also here a structure for global optimization. It's still in work, but for some tests it's working fine, but for some not yet. But there is here a solution to update the stance pose for everything, and then to make in some frame to go to these stance pose and to feed the rigid bodies one more time. For example, if you have very bad situation, you can skip it and then go in from the stance pose. You can feed the rigid bodies and continue tracking in some frame. For example, if I have the head and I would like to continue from this frame, I can feed it I can feed manually, I can feed from the parent, I can feed from the graph, and so on and so forth. But I do it manually, and then I have this keyframe, so feed quality is quite good here, and I start solving from this position, from cursor, and now I have trajectory solving from this position, so it should work fine. Okay. And for this global optimization, it means that it will solve all the bodies of the skeleton at the same time, and trying to make the connections in between, to have the skeleton, the whole skeleton tracking system, and the options to finally convert. I can switch to my trackable actor, and finally to export all this data to original motion capture. So after this tracking process, I will have the original motion capture data, MotionBuilder format, and it will not depend on this tracking plugin. It will be just default tracking data.